Hello and welcome to the Clyde FC Podcast, brought to you by A State of Mind. I join you like a kid on Christmas Eve as we are just my maths is poor, less than 24 hours away, shall we say, from the return of League One football and more importantly, the Bully Wee. With me tonight, as always, I've got my right-hand man who's finally wrangled his way out of work, Boycey. John Boyce, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Sorry to bring down the visual aesthetic tonight. Obviously, Danny Lennon didn't like my face, but yeah, glad to be back and looking forward to football tomorrow.
Yeah, you and me both. And joining us, our first guest tonight is possibly the most popular Clyde fan on the planet and newest Clyde fan on the planet. We have the one and only Scoops Callaghan Gaming. Scoops, how you doing, sir?
Not too bad, thank you, mate. Not too bad. How are you both? Both good?
Yeah, all the better for the return of football. Hopefully,
exactly.
We're still saying that at 4:45 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, before we do kick on tonight, I just want to hit a quick message. If anyone caught the website this afternoon, they'll sadly have seen that the football club has lost another lifelong supporter, Graham Forrester. Just like to pass on our condolences to the family. Obviously, at this terrible time. So, Boycey, I'm going to hand over the reins. You want to kick off proceedings tonight, and we'll look ahead to the match against East Fife. What are you expecting?
Absolutely. So, yeah, first of all, football's back, league football tomorrow. East Fife, what am I expecting? Well, they're a known quantity to us. We've played them in the league before. They're quite a physical team. The one thing that does worry me is they've got Nathan Austin back on short-term loan from Kelty Hearts. Now, he might have stumbled a wee bit in the championship when he moved, but I think anyone that knows Nathan Austin in our league, he puts the goals away. So it's a shrewd move from them, I think.
Yeah, I think you might be doing him an injustice. I think when he was with Cali and if it's maybe second season, he might have scored about 20 goals before moving to the lower league.
Well, fair enough.
Don't want to shoot you down, boys. Say 2 minutes into the show, but
Great job, boys. Well done, mate. Well done.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
we keep the standards high, Scoops, as you can see.
Of course, yeah. I'm noting these all down for later. That's it. Right.
But yeah, apart from that, like most other clubs in our division, they've got a few young players on loan from the higher up teams to help the energy and enthusiasm. We've got a few of our own, of course. And yeah, I think they beat Stenhousemuir quite comprehensively in a friendly. Now that was interesting because we've not actually played any friendlies. So, Danny had said in the exclusive interview last night that we weren't too keen to do them just because of the squad and the tiredness that it might bring. So hopefully they're tired tomorrow. Paul, what do you think about East Fife tomorrow?
Yeah, tough one. As you mentioned, they've got a fair amount of firepower. It's probably one thing that they've been lacking since they lost Anton Dowds to Falkirk in the summer. It's a tough one to call because everyone's in the same boat as we are. No one's kicked a ball in anger since late December in our league. So it's going to be important to get a good start, preferably a win tomorrow. I know that's cliche and it's like, yeah, everyone wants to win, but we've only got 10 league games before this split, and it could very easily find ourselves cut adrift, or we could find ourselves sitting nicely mid-table, hopefully looking above. They've got a few obviously known players to ourselves as well, and Chris Higgins at the back, who marshals them very, very well. Higgy, known to every Clyde fan from obviously being in the Celtic match, amongst others. So yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm quietly confident.
Yeah, I think the key thing for me is we've got to go off to a good start. As you've mentioned, there's not a lot of games, and they're coming thick and fast. So I really think we've got to be looking for the 3 points for our home games. I know that might be a tall ask, but if we want to do anything and stay in this league, we've got to do it.
Yeah, the fixture list, which we'll probably touch upon with Allan. For those that aren't aware, Allan Moore will be joining us in 15 minutes or so to look ahead at the football and the fixture list, which is it's exhausting to look at, never mind playing, where we will play some 9 games in don't know how many days, 3, I think. That's what it looks like, depending on the angle of the calendar you look at. It's quite grim, but needs must, and I think Danny said, we're just going to have to try and deal with it the best we can, and hopefully, fingers crossed, without any injuries or suspensions thrown into the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. And for any Clyde fan wanting to watch that, the club's obviously got its stream back up. So it's going along our little banner at the bottom. So it's £12 for the stream, I believe. Everyone kind of join in and watch. Scoops, will you be joining for that one? First game back?
Yeah, I'll be there, lads. Don't worry.
Good man.
Of course I'll be there.
Right, you've all heard it in the comments. Scoops is in. So
yeah, speaking of comments, we've got a few already. Ryan Kyle. Hashtag no scoops, no party. I believe that's true. The big man looking well, and a call for bits and pieces. Now we'll get onto that a wee bit later. For anyone that's tuned into Scoop streams, but it's a fun place to be. So after East Fife, as we've said, the fixtures are coming thick and fast. We've got Keith away in the Scottish Cup. Now, Paul, would you prioritise that game at all over the upcoming ones, or do we play our youth and save ourselves for the league? A cup run would be nice, but I think we've got bigger things on our minds this season.
Yeah, it's a tough one, because there's a double-sided coin to this, in the sense that you get through, there's the cash element, there's the prize money, but by the same token, you are running the risk of injuries, potentially heavy pitch. On the plus side, Keith haven't played a game. I think they might have played 2 or 3 league fixtures before the Highland League shut down. I think they played Elgin in a friendly just last weekend. I think Elgin won 2 or 3-0. On paper, and yes, it's on paper, it's a match that we should win. I would hope that we're professional enough to go up there, get the job done, and make the arduous 3 and a bit hour journey down the road with a cup tie against Ayr United or the aforementioned Elgin in the next round. The cup is a bit of a, I don't want to say issue, but it's an unwanted addition just now to this fixture list. It's crazy. It really is.
Yeah, I think as well, like as you said, Keith haven't played in a wee while, and on paper we should be beating them, but let's remember what the Scottish Cup's all about. It's difficult games, it's potential banana skins. We've seen it over the past few years with our games as well. You never know what can happen. So for any Clyde fan wanting to watch that, hopefully not potential upset, but a Clyde win, a stream is available. We've retweeted that on the club's podcast account. So if you want to go and have a wee look at that, if you want to tune in on Tuesday, that would be fantastic. So for the next 2 games, Paul, lineups for us, what are you thinking?
I'm going to hard pass. Ask me tomorrow morning, mate. I genuinely couldn't call it. We've obviously got 6 new additions to the squad. How that's going to shape things, wouldn't want to call it at this stage. I'm not expecting too many changes from the team that probably finished the campaign, finished the first or third segment of the campaign, the way it's been broken up. The one thing I would say is we're expecting probably a different Clyde team from the last one we saw, but more just about how we defend and deal with certain situations, which has obviously been a bit of a weakness this year to date. Something that Danny touched upon yesterday.
Yeah, I think the addition of the young boys as well, as I've said, will bring that energy and enthusiasm. I don't know if they'll be starting or coming off the bench, if the players that we have kept will be starting, or whether there will be a rotation for the midweek games, whatever. But I guess you're right. We'll just need to wait and see. We've got a few more comments. Martin Bryn, nice to see you, Martin. Forget the cup. Too much risk to the main squad. I think that's a fair comment. Yeah,
it's going to be a common, I think, thought process amongst the fan base. It is a very risky tie. Kieran McReynolds has joined us. I think he's Scoop's #1 fan. I think is it time to turn the spotlight on Clyde's newest super fan?
Absolutely.
And we'll come back onto the football once we get Allan Moore on board in about 5 or 10 minutes. So yeah, let's turn the spotlight on you, Scoops.
Brilliant, thank you.
Right, good to have you, Scoops. So for people that maybe aren't aware of Twitch and Football Manager, do you want to explain a wee bit about the platform and what you've been doing that's been so popular to Clyde fans over the last whirlwind?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't know what I've been doing that's made it so popular, to be brutally honest with you. But yeah, so yes, Twitch is pretty much a YouTube, very similar. That you go on there, you become a bit of probably a self-made Kieran. How you doing? A bit of a self-made producer. As such, I'm used to this, looking at the chat, responding to people, where you just basically stream a gameplay, or you could do anything. You could have just chat, you can. There's even people on there sleeping, which is just weird, like people sitting there watching them sleep, and it's just weird. But yeah, so basically you just go on there, stream, see how you get on, and just try and build a bit of a community. That's kind of how I see it. It's kind of an online community. You get people in. Like I said, I've got to, Football Manager, as you said, it's a platform game where you manage your team, and that's how you do it. You just have to get them, see how far you can get. It depends on how you want to play it, really. It's one of those games where you can just do it however you want to do it. You can go and manage Real Madrid, you can go and manage Barcelona, or you could do like I do. I haven't done that with Clyde. They're not the bottom. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying, just being careful what I say right now. I usually start.
I'm hanging over the delete button here, Scoops.
Yeah, exactly that. Just end the call now. No, but the way I see it is where you basically start at the bottom and build your way up, a journeyman save, and that's kind of how I started it. And I started off initially with this save with. Scoops, as I call it, Scoop Survivalist Specialist or something like that, and basically to see if I can keep the team up. And that's why I became St Johnstone manager, because they were the furthest away from safety, and I got sacked after the second season because we got relegated. So that's great. So the Championship, but yeah, it's just a place for people to come, talk to each other, build a bit of community. Have a laugh. That's how I see it. I don't take it too seriously because the likes of the community that have come out for all this, and I don't know how it's caught on, maybe my Twitter stuff, a couple of videos that I've done for Clyde FC, just to get us linked to the Football Manager stuff, that may have helped, but I don't know what's happened in 2 weeks for me to be currently sitting here on this podcast talking to you guys about Football Manager and Clyde FC.
Yeah, I think it's one of the wonderful things at times just now, the Clyde community is that passionate that they want to see anything related with Clyde, and you're providing that, and you do it so well and with a character that matches most Clyde fans, that passion. So I think for me, I joined one of your streams the other night, and it was so much fun for anyone wanting to join. It's great, Paul. Like you were in as well.
It's a fantastic laugh. It's like you're getting together with your mates and you're watching your team, virtually or otherwise. It's just getting together with your mates and having a good laugh. And yeah, just to quickly kind of touch upon what you're saying, it's been 2 weeks that this has been ongoing now.
Yeah, so I started probably 4 weeks ago, where I said, okay, I'm gonna give it a go. We're in lockdown, I'm still working and stuff like that outside of this, but I thought I'd give it a go. Instead of my evenings usually would be sitting there playing Call of Duty, whatever, playing Football Manager. But I thought, do you know what? It's a bit, you look a bit of a lunatic when you're sitting there in your front room talking, doing the screams down the microphone, going, "Get in there!" when they score a goal. You look like your missus is sitting there going, "What are you doing, mate? You need to grow up." But from the way I see it, it's like I thought, do you know what? Let's just give it a go. So I thought I'd try it out, build a bit of a structure to it, and start this, like I said, Scoops survival specialist save, and just see what happens. Create a Twitter, try and get myself into a couple of communities, a couple of Football Manager groups. Just start putting my name out there a bit, just to try and make some friends as well at the same time. Online at the moment, we're not allowed to go anywhere, so I can't go and meet my mates down the pub. I can't go and play golf or whatever. So I've got to try and make it elsewhere. So I thought, do you know what? Let's make the time. Let's just give it a go. And yeah, so 4 weeks is pretty much the period of time I've been doing this. I've been streaming, and we've come on a bit, since we've left St Johnstone and moved on to Clyde. So whilst I was streaming that and doing the posts and doing videos and so on, it was at the time when they were going to the Betfred Cup final, and obviously they went on to win that. And then obviously I got the bullet and got the sack after halfway through the league championship season. And then I felt it, I just needed a job. Had a look at jobs. I said, I'm going to stay in Scotland. I've got the opportunity to go elsewhere, but I said, I'm going to stay in Scotland. And the Clyde job was there. And that's how this beautiful relationship has happened.
No, that's great. So in that time, like the last 2 weeks, what have your highlights been, for anyone that's not been in the stream?
Well, I think, realistically, we were... Basically, the target for the season was attempt to avoid relegation when I came in. I joined on Christmas, I think, around about Christmas, January time. The club on Football Manager, not in real life, don't worry. And we were basically bet odds on to go down. And hopefully we could move on from that. I'm just going to stop one there for 1 second. My tumble dryer is going off. 1 second. Let's stop that right there. There you go. Let's stop now. So basically, our target was to stay up. So what we did was manage to keep us up, and we actually nearly pushed to the playoffs in our first season. Went on a bit of a bad run, lost 3 games on the trot, missed out on the playoffs in the last day of the season. Gutted. But then that's when the community started. I started getting messages from fans and saying, I was like, this is weird. What's happening here? Just a bit of banter, bit of back forward. I was like, oh yeah, we're going to come tonight. We're going to get a load of us to come in. I was like, okay, yeah, all right. So I thought 3 of their mates were going to turn up and they'll go, oh yeah, this is rubbish, turn it off. And it just started growing from there. Literally, for 10 days now, I think it is, you guys have been involved. And we've gone from, I was averaging 4-5 viewers to averaging 26, 27 every night so far. And then to be raided by another streamer, a bigger streamer, and to have 600 people watching us at one point was just completely mind-boggling, to be pretty honest with you. It's just overwhelming the support that I've had from you guys. And, the opportunities that I've gained from this is purely all down to you and your support. It really is. Yeah,
I think there's, so many comments about, Clyde are just a great team to follow, and I think this just proves it. 40, 50 fans just joining in for an online stream to passionately support the cause. So it's great to see.
Kieran's calling it 600 people watching us get mauled off Wraith.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we lost. Yeah. It was funny. We were literally about the 85th minute, and we were 4-1 down away at Wraith in the cup, and we were like, I was getting mauled by Kieran, and other fans, and they're going scoops out, and then 600 people turn up, just going, what's going on? And I was just like, what's going on? Literally 4-1 down, and then you had all these people putting these comments in, like spamming it, and you had Kieran just going, shut up, I'm trying to watch the football.
I think it's safe to say we get the full Clyde experience through your stream scoops as well.
Yeah, the glorious highs and the crushing lows, such as the playoff defeat the other night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think, the other night, do you know what? Even I was gutted. I was gutted that we lost that to Livingston to get into the Premiership and still a part-time team. What an achievement that would have been for me. One of my biggest achievements on Football Manager, and probably would have been actually on my CV moving forward. But it's it's just been ridiculous. And like you said, highs and lows. It's very much the way I try and build it is kind of give these guys a bit of a match day experience. It's kind of how I try and do it, Yeah. Forgiven for giving away. Yeah, I can't even remember. Was it 6-0 or was it even worse than that? But it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. I was just getting my head was being called. That was it. Getting out of my club. But it's great and it's weird because I know, speaking to Allan in a minute, he's going to be going, who's this guy? What's he talking about? And I'm going to be, that was probably as close as I'm going to get to actually being and acting like a real football manager. I could literally, for 1 minute, just have 20 people going, we want you out of our club. And I'm just like, you just feel so much pressure, like just from that alone. So,
it's good to see. We're getting a few wowies down in the comments.
Yes.
Obviously, Clyde fans will be well aware as to what that relates to. It's the, I would say famous, not infamous, famous commentary from the Dumbarton League Cup tie, where Barry Cuddihy rattled one in from 30 yards out in the top corner, and David Jack came away with the just glorious wowee, which we were all thinking, but I don't think not any of us actually had the guts to manifest it in such a way. Can you give us a wee, just then before we get Allan in, just conscious of time here, some of the media that you've produced for promoting your streams is absolutely fantastic, mate. I can't honestly. Genuinely, some of them goosebumps in the arms and everything. Just fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? It's good, and I appreciate your comments, mate. It's like I said, that's why I build it, to try and I create those videos. You know, you scale the internet, see what you can find, and then just trying to get that match day feeling, get people buzzed, you know, from those edits. So, like you said, that one for our playoff push was, you know, that even got me going. You know, that playoff push video with the old the 1953 Cup final win, or you know, with those clips, it just kind of got me there. I was just like, this is ridiculous. Why am I getting so connected? But then you have the match day stuff of David Goodwillie with I can't remember the song. It's gone off the top of my head, but we've got that going as well.
Yeah.
Kingston Town, because of a recommendation. So we had that. But then also, you know, the wowee literally just came, you know, and like I say in the chats, I've got eyes everywhere. I get this information. I get it provided to me about fridge magnets, everything, you know, just to try and make it a bit more realistic and also make people laugh, because I at the end of the day, it's been a tough year for everyone, isn't it? You know, we're coming up to the year anniversary now of lockdown. It's been a tough year for everyone, and people need that like that period of time where they're actually away from really what's going on, and it kind of gives you that, and it gives me that as well by having those laughs with those guys. It creates a bit. It helps my mental health, and it helps other people's mental health, which is a bonus, you know, to me.
Oh, absolutely, Scoops. And long may it continue. Looking forward to 10 o'clock tonight. We'll give you a wee, obviously, plug. We'll continue to keep you on. Don't worry. I'm sure Allan will have some gentle help, questions, shall we say. You can also explain to him why you've replaced him as assistant manager. But first of all, we'll get the man in. Delighted to say that with us, hopefully in a wee second, is assistant manager Allan Moore. Allan, how are you doing?
Good evening. I think I've met my match. I think I've met somebody that talks more than me.
How
and that's saying something. And I tell you what, it's probably a bit easier. I've been sacked on Championship manager than it is in real life. I've had that a few times as well.
So there you go, Scoops. You can rest easy tonight. It's tougher at the top.
It's a pleasure meeting you, pal.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you, mate.
So, Allan, we've done a quick preview of the East Fife match tomorrow now. How are you feeling ahead of it? Are you just looking back to getting in the dugout?
Buzzing. I'll not get to sleep. I very rarely get to sleep on a Friday night anyway, but I think this is put it tenfold because at the end of the day, it's been a long time, and my day job's usually coaching, obviously at the college, and I've been stuck in the house on, believe it or not, these calls all day for 9 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon with my students, and usually I'm very active so it's been a blessing actually getting back into the last Tuesday we started back, and believe it or not, I had 2 jackets on, 2 pair of jogging bottoms, 2 hats, pair of gloves. I was soaked to the skin. My hands were frozen. I couldn't tie my laces. I drove home down to my house in Muirhead, which is 10 minutes away, in my knickers because my fit was soaking, and we weren't allowed to get showers or anything. But it was the best feeling in the world. I was taking for that all day long just to get back on the pitch, and that's basically what it's felt like. And that will be for everybody else, and we're no any different. It's a job, and when it gets took away from you, you realise how much it's a part of your life. A Tuesday or Thursday, sometimes a Tuesday, Thursday night, I'm working during the day. I'm like, I've got training tonight. No, I can't wait to get there. And I think all the fans, yourself included, Scoops, it just grabs you. And I've been out it a couple of times, obviously been sacked, and back in it. I said I'd never get back into it again, and Danny threw me back in. He's a friend of mine from my Thistle days, and I've enjoyed every minute of it since, to be honest, because it's been a roller coaster, but we've had more ups and downs in my football career. That's what I judge myself on. If I had a lot more downs, then I wouldn't be in it. So it's the wee ups that keep you going.
Yep. The love of the game never leaves you once you've got it, does it, Alan?
No, it's. I mean, I'm getting on a bit now. I'm into 56 now, so I'll see it. But then I'm looking at Roy Hodgson and that down at Crystal Palace. And I'm like, hold on a minute, he's a bit older than me.
You've still got at least 20 years plus left, eh?
He's got some grey hair. I'm all right now. I'm just looking at the grey. I thought I might get this at Clyde, but it's staying no bad. It's a bit like Scoops. I think Scoops has got a bit of dye in his right now.
Excuse me, mate. It's good. It's good with the light here because I'm actually going grey. I'm just hit 30 and I've just gone grey.
Scoops, you're like the wee guy with the Adams family with that haircut.
Do you know I've been waiting for this all day? I was just waiting for that first one to drop.
Do you know what? I'm glad I sacked you. I am glad I sacked you now after that.
Right. So later on, boys, in the 10 o'clock stream, I think we're going to have to start hitting with the Adams family. What's the boy's name again?
Oh, it's a wee boy. It's a wee boy.
It's just that bit there. Do you know what? I'm going to have a shower.
You're lucky. You know. Is it Uncle? You know the Uncle one. At least you've got
Uncle Fester.
That's more Boise, I think.
That's why I wear the hat. Like, no one's seen this here. Like,
he could be Danny. Have a lot of hair, but grey. Don't know what he's doing.
I'll tell you, mate. We had Danny on yesterday, and we took a lot of questions, and just about every second question was about his Barnet and when he was getting it cut, including from the likes of Chris Fahey and wee Joe, obviously who used to be part of the backroom staff until fairly recent times. I think I just had to cut the questions.
I think he must have been a fan of granola at some stage. His hair's more like granola, to be honest, though. Because he always had it short. When I played with him at Partick Thistle and when I played against him back in his younger days, his hair was always cropped in. It was always nice and short. He never had it as long as that. I don't know where he's getting that from.
What we'll do, just since you've touched upon it, Alan, we'll work our way back from what I was originally going to do. We'll look at your playing career. Now, do you want to work? Where was your first breakthrough? My notes say Dumbarton, and I'm hoping I'm right.
That's why I love my job at the moment. I'm a sports lecturer up at the college, and we do a football course for the young kids, boys that could be for any background. It could be amateur, semi-professional, professional. A lot of these boys come into the college with aspirations to be a professional football player, just like I had when I was 16, 17. And I played with Postle YM. Great upbringing because our coach, Bobby Dinney, God bless him, was you weren't allowed to wear dirty boots. You had to make sure your boots were spotless, so you weren't allowed to go on the pitch. So he put in a good ethos into the young boys back then. And now that I've got a job where I never get picked up professionally till I was 20, I kept saying I was too wee. I wasn't big enough. I was too slight, and I just kept persevering. And at the age of 20, I went for all the trials with Scotland, Celtic, Rangers. I got invited to them all. I was good enough to go there, but I never seemed to get picked, and it was getting a bit frustrating. And eventually, I got a try at Dumbarton, and 6 months later, I was away at a trial with St Etienne in France, which was unheard of. The threes went over there for a week. I was down at Blackburn, I was at Charlton, I was at Aston Villa, and then Hearts came in for us. And it was funny enough, the year I went to Hearts, it was the year that Celtic beat them for the cup, for the league, by the last game of the season. And being a Celtic fan, I was coming down the road for Brecon with the button. All the Hearts fans were all out at dead, but they were out on Dundee and they were all lying on the road crying and all that. And I'm like, oh, look at them. The next year I'm there. The next year I'm with them. Against my dad's wishes, to be honest. You're not going to the Hearts. But it was the best upbringing I got under Alec McDonald. He was unbelievable as a manager. The best quote I've ever had off a manager in my whole career. I was sitting in the dugout about 2 months in, and we had it was a testimonial for Walter Kidd, and we were playing Newcastle, and it was all this talking about Paul Gascoigne. Now, he was only 18 at the time, and it was I'd never heard of him. And I'm sitting in the dugout, and Paul Gascoigne, honestly, when seeing in your profession, when you see something that's you think you're a good player, but you see a guy that you know you're like, that's unbelievable. Some of the things he did that day with the ball, I'm sitting in the dugout, like, how the hell did he do that? That's frightening. And the gaffer's going to put me on, and he's like, see you. The boy Mark Gavin playing at the right wing at the time. I can remember, that's how well I can remember his name in the quote. He says, see you. Me, Allan McDonald tells me when the dog. I've only been there 2 months. He says, "See, he's got more ability than you'll ever have." I was like, oh, "Cheers, Gaffer." That's a boost. He says, "But he's not got that wee bit. You've got that wee devilment, that wee heart." He says, "You get kicked, and you like that. See, he gets kicked and he rolls about." He says, "It's crying wolf and all that." And that's the bit that Allan McDonald put in you. He says, "You don't need to be the best football player in the world." He says, "But see, if you've got the desire and the willingness to work and the right attitude, then you can get there." And I was the proof of that. And that's what I say to the boys at the college. Like, you might not be the best football player, but see if you give it your best shot and you don't make it, then you've no regrets. But see if you come in here and you mess about and you don't give your best shot. I see some boys when at the college, when they go, right, we're doing a bleep test and their shoulders virtually drop. "Oh, Moore, you're kidding on. I'm doing a bleep test, are we? What are we doing that for?" I says, "Are you a football player?" "Aye." "So do you need to run me? You're a football player?" "Aye." "So that's why we're doing the bleep test." It's a total different, I think, some of them frame of mind. Back in the day, you had no choice, you did it. And some of our pre-seasons were crazy. So it was a great upbringing with Hearts. The 4 years I was there, I only played about 40 games, to be honest. And then I eventually got a move to St Johnstone, and that's when my career blossomed. I went to St Johnstone under Alec Totten, who was my manager at Dumbarton. He brought me back again. And the football we played there was magnificent. 2 wingers, me in one wing, Stevie Maskell another wing, and Big Roddy Grant up the middle. And we just attacked and we managed. And funny enough, I was working with, when I left Hearts, I put the phone down and started crying. Because me and my wife had just bought a wee flat in Denison. We just our first kid. And I said, that's my career finished. I was back working at Young and McMillan up at Milton, where I stayed. All the hours of the day, 8 in the morning to 4 or 5 at night. And then I had to get on a bus up to McDermott Park for Queen Street with the rest of the players. You only get home at 11:30 at night sometimes. But you were still in the football. But fortunately enough, we managed to have that good a team. We won the league. And we went full time the following year. And the 3 years I had up there, football wise, they compare with Dunfermline when I was there as well, because the football we played, it was just, even when we got to the Premier League, we still played 3 up front. We went attacked at Park Kerry, we attacked at Ibrox, and it was just a joy. It was a joy to play in the teams. They didn't have you tracking away back, all your stuff, you had to do it that way. So for that point of view, my career blossomed then, to be honest, and I was privileged enough to play with some of the best players in the world, because at that time, Celtic and Rangers were signing Gascoigne, Laudrup, Cadet, Cadaniel, Paul McStay. It was some of the Mark Catley, Alan McCoist, Richard Gough, Terry Butcher's. I've actually still got 6 stitches in my head from when Terry Butcher headed me when he was playing for Rangers and I was at Tynecastle. So things like that, the memories there of the players you played against and just being on the pitch with some of those players, you look at yourself and go, that was a privilege. And I say that to my boys at the college. I say, never give up on your dream. Work as hard as you can, and if you get there, great. If you don't, and you've did everything you can, then you've no regrets.
Well, I must say, Allan, the comments have went dry just now, but I think it's because everyone's been captivated since you've come on.
Probably bored with me death.
No, absolutely not. Like, I've been absolutely loving hearing this, because listening to what you were saying, obviously, where you were 20 years old when you got your break in football, that when we've obviously got quite a number of really young players in our current squad and signing these boys on loan from like the Rangers, St Mirren, etc., that must be really good to hear from their perspective as well, that you can pass on, look, it might not work for you. Hopefully it does work for you at Clyde, but don't let it get you down. There's still, keep at it and you can get there.
I'll let any secret. We brought these young boys in, and because we've got a hell of a lot of fixtures to fulfil. So we have, and I was talking to the older boys, and I've been there and done it. And at times when you bring young boys into a training session and they don't really hit it off, sometimes the older boys go like, what are they bringing him in for? He's not going to help us. He's not going to get us up the league and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be talking perfectly honest here on my wee grandchild there at Christmas time. The boys that have come in have lifted the standard of the football training a wee bit higher. Yeah, they're young boys, and we've got the wee boy Kane, and they're all, and I says, they're pretty wee and slight, and I'm looking at myself standing next to them, I'm like, well, he's a bit bigger than me, and he's a bit bigger than me, and he's a bit bigger than me, he's got a bit of build than me, and I still made it at that height. So I was prejudged them, but talking to the players, Kevin Nicol, David Goodwillie, the movement the boys are making in training, the touch they've got, the technical ability they've got is second to none, because they've came from a good background. And the thing is, when I was talking to young Lloyd, who's came down for Aberdeen, I was talking to Josh, and Josh Jack now is fully fit. I think when we had Josh last year, he had a wee knee problem, and it didn't show his full potential. That boy is a player and a half, so he is, and he's come in. Now he grasps what it's like to be in this league. It's not about being on the ball all the time. It's about sometimes what you do when you're off the ball for the team. So it's not because in their leagues, and I spoke to some of the Rangers boys and says, guys, you might win for a rude awakening in this league. I says, don't get me wrong, we play some good football. I says, but the teams that we don't usually that do well against are the teams that kick it over our head. I says, because we don't deal with that well. I says, but when we get the ball, you'll enjoy it, because we do. Danny does stress to the players that I want it doing, I want it on the ground, I want us passing it. And sometimes it may be to our detriment that we do that. But these young boys that have come in, they're a breath of fresh air. And they've just added to what we've already got there. I'm hoping the young boy that came in for St Mirren, LJ, is going to bag his goals, because we can't keep relying on Goody every week, week in, week out. And it certainly looks that way in the training, their movement, their touch. And in fairness, they've come in and they've not looked overawed. They've come in and they've joined in and they've been involved in every session. And it's been a joy to watch, to be honest, especially when we've been away for so long. And people are saying, your Rangers reserves. Well, no, the Rangers have been good enough to give us players at very low cost or no cost at all, as long as these boys are getting their development. And I think the Clyde fans have got to realise that. You're in a market where there's no money anymore. We're not getting any crowds through the door. And for these boys to come to us is a privilege in itself. And these boys will show what they're made of when they come to us, because we'll mould, Daniel and I will mould them into the sort of team that we want to play in. You can tell right away they're wee workers anyway, and they're just, hopefully they'll add to the boys we've already got there. Mark Lamont, who's coming back really fit. We Ali Love, who is just crazy with him. He's like the daddy bear. We were doing Zoom calls. We were doing Zoom calls over obviously the period we were off there. And me Ali's coming on just with a pair of shorts on his top half and all that, because he's trim, he's got a six pack and all that. And all
showing
that.
It off.
I said, you're the one that's took weight off in these lockdowns, Ali. What's happening? What are you doing? He's looking great, and he gets in about it, and he gets in about these young boys, and it's exciting. Hopewell, we'll soon find out tomorrow, obviously, when we get back to the league start. And the thing is, these boys will be needed. We'll need to count on them, because the amount of games we've got is it's scandalous, to be honest. The one where we've got, I think, 4 games in 1 week is. I didn't think that the actual union would allow that, to be honest. But the boys are grasping it. They're like, listen, if that's what we've got to do, that's what we've got to do. And I took them back to a time when I was still an army manager, and we were 12 points behind Alloa, who were a local rival at the time. But because we had a grass pitch and they had an AstroTurf pitch, we had about 6 games called off. So we had to play about 12 games in the space of 4.5 weeks. We were playing Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, all the way through. And gradually we chipped away at it. And I remember Alan Maitland put up a bit in the paper saying, catches if he can. So I took that bit of paper and I stuck up in the dressing room. And the very last day of the season, and believe it was us, Cowdenbeath, who Danny was the manager of, and myself at Stirling and Alan Maitland at Alloa. We played Danny on the Tuesday night at Cowdenbeath. I was 3-0 down at half-time against Cowdenbeath. I picked the totally wrong team to start with. I changed it all at half-time. I put the wee boy Alan Russell on, and we changed it back, and we scored. And that's how crazy football is. We scored in the 96th minute. We get the last kick of the ball. Their guys half to our centre-half and 2.5 way line, and it's a free kick. And I've sent everybody up, and we punt it in, and all you hear is the keeper shouting, "Keepers!" And he's come out, and he's cracked big Andy Graham in the head. Andy Graham's got a flick on. It's went over the keeper and bounced into the net. We're all going bananas at the side of the pitch, right? The players are going, because we've managed to grab a draw in the last game of the season on Saturday. Andy Graham's out cold. We're not even warm about him. We're not even getting a shout at him. He's in the corner. He's still in the 6-yard line. And we're like, oh, we better get him. So we eventually gets him up, and the ref blows the whistle as soon as we take kick, and it's free each. And Danny's a good friend of mine, and I could feel from then. And I went into the dressing room after it, and we breaking in the Saturday. So all we needed was 1 point to win the league. And I said to Andy Graham, you can't play on Saturday. And I'm trying to say it on this Zoom call, but he gave me a few choice words back, put it that way. That'll be, I'll tell you what, I said, I'll knock you out, Gaffer, if you don't play me on Saturday. And we went to Brecon, and we managed to get a 1-1 draw. We were 1-0 up, and wee Charlie King scored. And for the last 5 minutes of the game, Cowdenbeath were beating Alloa. They played them in the last game. So Danny would have won the league that day if we hadn't get that last-minute goal at Cowdenbeath, and I keep winding them back up again. Because I went into his office that night, and Danny's into his gadgets and all that, right? He had the laptop, he'd the board up, and his corners and his free kicks up in the wall. And he says, and I've got a smart board in the dressing room. So I'm played after him that. What's a smart board? You know, I work at the college. I know what smart boards are, right? He's like, oh, I've got this thing. I can move the players about and I can do this and do that. He says, oh, that's good, eh? He says, you saw your fucking dressing rooms? He says, no, never mind a smart board. I says, the smart board's bigger than the dressing room you're in next door. And you're talking about a smart board. You wind me up. I says, no, what? I did that. I walked out and I messed all his men up on the board, right? I pulled his laptop down and I walked out the door and I says, smart board? I says, I've got 11 stupid idiots in there. I says, I'll tell you what, we're going to win this game tonight. And I just shut the door and walked away. He's like to me after that. He says, oh, yeah, wee bugger you. Oh, it's wee moments like that in football that you remember that how football's so 1 minute you're up there, next minute you're down there. And I've had the highs getting up through the championship, the playoffs and get up and winning it. I've had the lows of getting sacked at Morton when I thought I did a magnificent job to finish second in the league. I up at Broth where we were flying and I made a mistake there which I never made again. It's a bit like we did at Clyde. We did at Clyde a wee bit where I took boys that I never went to look at, and I says no, I'll never do that again, and it backfired on us. But as I said, I've had more highs than lows, and especially at Clyde. I think that's just over 3 years roughly we've been here, and it seems as if it's flew in. Somebody said that to me the other day. I thought I'd only been here about a year. I says, working with Danny, it feels about 4 years right enough, but I thought it was only a year. And hopefully I know it was we had a sticky patch when we came into this division, and then I felt we were starting to, as we do, pick it up again, get the grips with it, with the wee run we were on, and then it gets stopped again. I'm just hoping that when it starts, obviously tomorrow, that we can get back to that sort of form that we had before the breakup was coming, because we were starting to get the players together. And again, when we came into this league, it was difficult because they went from us having the ball to having to chase the ball, and it took the players a while to realise that, and us to get it through their heads. Listen, I'm not going to give you back in this league. You've got to run about and get it back. And eventually we got a wee grip of that, and I felt we justified where we are. I mean, I thought we've got a few games in hand, which we could do without, to be honest. They're good at the time, but the way things are going at the moment, they could be a wee bit more of a hindrance than a help, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really interesting perspective that you're talking, Alan, because of the young boys coming in. Most Clyde fans would probably agree that we do see the young players coming in, and yourself and Danny nurturing them. But from what you've been saying, obviously you had that when you were a player, and you've taken that all the way through to your coaching as well, and just kind of given them aspirations from your own personal experiences, which I think is important, because some managers might just take it from a book or whatever, but they'll probably respect your experiences more. The best thing is living it, the biggest thing is on the pitch. See, on the training pitch, you can tell that the quality they've got. They're eager. They're desperate to come here. I mean, I've had some boys on loan at the clubs I've been at, and you've took them on loan, and you can tell right away. They've been there maybe a week, and this isn't for me. It might be something to do with travelling, or the young boy Josh Jack, he was having to get. He was coming in even when he was injured. He didn't have to come in because he was getting treatment when he went back to St Mirren. Now, we've been unlucky with a couple of the boys, to be honest. Big Matty's went over his ankle when I thought he was going to be a cracker for us as well, because he was starting to learn how to play in this league as well. And then we had a young Cammy who I thought was coming on brilliant as well, but he got a move back over to Ireland. So we've actually, the Rangers players, I was quite surprised Rangers have gave us the players, because we keep getting them injured. They keep giving us more. But we're looking forward to it. The buzz about the camp is magnificent. Obviously, we got tested on Tuesday night there. And what I think is crazy, we get tested on Tuesday, but our players are part-time. They could go to their job on the Wednesday and pick something up. We've got to take 2 buses up to Keith on Tuesday night, which I think is absolute crazy, considering they're going to go out and play against the boys for Keith. You don't know where they've been, because they're part-time. They're going to be up against their own players, and then you can't sit next to somebody on the bus but you've just been running about for 90 minutes on the pitch with somebody else, and it's been blood and snorters and going up for headers and tackles and blah blah blah. It's a bit crazy in that respect, because it's an outlay of a lot of money, and we're not the only club that's having to put that out, because obviously I think we've got Peter Montrose and Peter Headaway as well. To be honest, and that's obviously going to take a couple of buses as well. We are want to be as safe as possible, and I think
give the club credit and us to get back again, the gentleman that put the money in, because it would have probably wouldn't have got us back. But the testing's working. We've all been touch wood, free of the COVID virus, and everybody the same. We just want to get back in and get it back to normal.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't need to put up with this on virtual world, do you, Scoops?
No, not at all. Luckily enough, I don't have to deal with any of that transport. All I do is press a button and then get myself a beer and watch us lose 4-1 away at Wraith. It's fantastic.
I think that now is probably a good. Should we address the fact that Allan Moore isn't your assistant in the game anymore, and why you came to that decision?
We get beat 5-1 away at Wraith when I was there, and it was live. It wasn't it was live.
So I've done better than Moore. I'll take that. Yeah, here we go.
You need to get Moody back now after tonight, surely, Scoops.
Well, after that comment about the Adams family, I think I'm going to give it a miss, I reckon.
Well, it was either that or Danny Dyer. Which one do you want?
Oh, I don't want Danny Dyer. No, I'll take the Adams family.
We've got a comment here from Stevie Dock, who is saying, ask Moody about a trip to the Napa at Airdrie. Great lad, and he hopes that you're doing well. Is this going to be safe to put out on an official club channel, Alan? Or
wait, I make sure I've got my earphones in. The wife's not here. Well, that was legendary. We've been lucky. I've been lucky as a football player. I was saying that to the boys the other day as well. I've been lucky as a football player to win some championships. At Dunfermline a couple of times, St Johnstone, Partick Thistle, Queen South. And my wife's always said to me, look, if you win, you can go away. And I've had some lads, as Docco says there, I've played with Docco at Airdrie and Partick Thistle. I've had some memorable trips. I'll give you the insight into the one in Napa with Thistle. The boys were hiring motorbikes or the mopeds, but they were going to the pub.
Okay, I was wondering where that was going there, Alan. You had me sweating.
We're going to disco with them right at night and coming out of that and going back on them, and away you go. Something you'd never think of doing back home ever, right? But the next day, so I'm missing out on this, and I'm like, I need to get one of these things. I'm fed up walking on doing this hill to the beach, man. It takes me forever. So he goes and gets some mopeds. But I didn't drink. I got the moped, so I get big Scott McLean's. His bars were facing that way, but his wheels were facing this way. So we're travelling down to the beach a bit, we were like convoy. I thought I was like Chips. Remember back in the day, the old Chips? We were like convoying with about 6 or 7 of the players on these wee mopeds all falling behind us. And Danny Lennon's wee nephew was there at the time, because he was the nephew, John Lambie, the manager. And he drew up next to me and he was sort of chatting to me because no one's wasn't too that busy. And I'm like to him, by the way, it's piss easy to drive these things, isn't it? You don't need to do nothing, right? I wasn't even looking, I smacked the curb. Right, I smacked the curb. I only had a pair of shorts on. Danny says to this day, him and Mark Manala says, Moody, you were like Barry Sheen without the leathers on. He says he says always you bouncing along the road, because I was doing about 30 miles an hour, so always you bounce along the road. He said then it came to a stop. Wee Danny came across, and wee Danny says I was absolutely, he says I was busting my guts, says with laughter, until he looked down and he realised I had put his brand new trainers on. And there was a big hole with designer trainers, and off my toe was hanging off with a big hole in his toe, and he's laughing at me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? These are your trainers, what you He's like, yeah, we be. So we goes all the way down to the beach. We down to the beach and Watty, our physio, he says, salt water's good for that. Now I'm all cut. I've still got the scars, my elbows all ripped open, my shoulders all ripped open, my knee. But I'm like, just give me a beer, I'll be fine. You don't want to show any scaring or any fear. Just shows that. So took about 3 or 4 beers. And it started wearing off the pain a wee bit. And I said, I'm going to wash this off. And I ran for the beach, the bar right in the beach, right into the water. That was the worst mistake I ever made in my life. Honestly, as soon as the salt water hit me, you saw the veins just going like that. I'm saying, oh yeah, the blood was started pouring out me. The boys have dragged me out the water. They've wrapped me the big towels with me. But this is how concerned they were. They've wrapped the towels with me, and they says, how is he going to get back up the road? They're like, well, I'm not taking him. You take him. I'm not taking him. You take him. She says, Moody, you're going to have to come to the pub. So I says, right, okay, I'll come to the pub then. So I'm sitting in the pub, in the football zone. And they're all having a bevy. So I start getting the wee shakes. I think the wee bit of thing we kicked in the fear. And I says, no, we need to get you up the road. So they phoned a taxi. They put me in a taxi. Nobody even came with me. They put me in a taxi and sent me up the road. And I'm in my bed. So I get into the bed in the room. And I'm lying on the bed. And I've got the cover room. And the blood's all seeping out me. But I don't know if this was a minute. 30 seconds or 2 hours, right? But when that light was off, I felt the bed shaking. So I must have went into shock and the bed shaking. And I still to this day can feel the feeling that I'm not putting my hand out this bed because there's something under it. They're just going to grab me right under the bed. And I swear to God, I don't know how long it lasted, but next minute the light flicks on, and it's one of the boys and I'm like, "Oh, Moody, look at the state of you." And I was like, "Aye, I thought you were going to look at me." He says, "Any chance I can get a line of your moped?" And put the light back out and walked out. And I'm like, "Turn that light on." I'm now just scared of my life. So the holidays, the trips we had with the boys, you know yourselves, if you remember the boys, they were crazy. They were the days. And believe it or not, my last one I managed to get when I chucked the football, I ended up taking my young nephew's amateur team, Maryhill Thistle. And believe it or not, I ended up winning the treble with them. And they all paid for me to go to Benidorm. My wife's like, "That doesn't count. I said, it's a championship and it's a treble. I'm the Brendan Rodgers of the amateur league. I'm going to Benidorm."
And there's I've got an idea. Scoops, get Clyde to the Premier League on a stream. And the second the airports are open, we just have an absolute weekend away.
That counts. That counts. Winning 8 and counts. That's what I said to the wife.
Kieran, I think's already digging his passport out. So
yeah, hopefully we will get. Hopefully we're looking for that anyway. No, the trips were that's when. Sometimes that's what makes you the team. See the trips you had. I honestly, Bert Payton and Dick Campbell when I was at Dunfermline were absolutely masters at getting team camaraderie. Frightening. Now we won the league that year. The year after we went to the year Big Norrie McCarthy died, God bless him. And we won the league that year. But they had a great idea. They used to have us in every 3 months. They would book the hotel up the road. They would only charge you a tenner for bed and breakfast, and they'd get a DJ in, and then they would play bingo, and then we'd be up for a sing song, and then I had all the players and the wives, which was the best thing. The players and the wives, because usually all the players go to their cell, but the players and the wives went to it, and it was absolutely magnificent. So again, I'm in the bar having a couple of vodka Red Bulls, and Dick says the boys want you to sing, and I'm like, "What?" He says, "The boys want you to sing." So I don't really sing unless I've got a few drinks in me. I was like, "All right then." So I had a few drinks in me. I was singing Kingston Town, and I'll be quite honest, I was ripped then. I had a good physique and all that, and I wasn't too bothered about taking my clothes off. So I started singing Kingston Town. My wife's 6 months pregnant. She's sitting in the corner with other wives. Kingston. Next minute, the tap comes after it. I'm after the shot and all that. And the chairman and the directors are all sitting at the big table. And after, I'm like, "Here we go." And she's that, and she's shouting. My wife's shouting, "Don't you dare, Allan! Don't you fucking dare!" I'm like, next minute, the boy could really.
Oh, we've lost him. Where'd he go?
He got excited. He's punched his phone.
Oh, we've lost your audio, Allan. We've lost your audio.
Reliving the glory days.
No, we still can't hear you, Allan.
Was that it now?
There you go. That's you. You're back on. The story was that good. You literally knocked.
I nearly caught myself there. He pulls my boys come in and pull my trousers down, and I just step out the trousers.
What a return.
I'm standing there with the boxers, and they're like, my wife shouting, "You better know, you better know." And one of the other boys just came down, pulled my knickers down, and I never even missed a beat. I'm still saying, "Oh, you're Kingston Town, you're my queen," and all that. And the boys like, "You're not." And Dick Campbell and that, but they thought that was great for camaraderie and getting all the boys together because it was mental, and that's what sometimes makes the teams. Okay, it's not sometimes it's off the pitch what you do together, and we've been great because we've kept going with the Zoom calls on a Tuesday and a Thursday night. Matty, our fitness coach, does it on a Tuesday and Thursday, and then I was doing the Zooms, the Les Mills with him on a Saturday, and it was a good way of keeping contact with the players, getting a bit of banter, and then me and Danny would go off, and the players could get a bit of banter together and that because it's been difficult for them as well.
So conscious of time, a wee spotlight on tomorrow, perhaps. Ryan Kyle's asking, what are our chances tomorrow, and how much of a miss will Tom Lang be for the season after, with his move to Wraith coming up?
Yeah, I'll put the bit on Tom Lang first. I mean, first and foremost, I want to congratulate him again. I know it's a blow for us, but in a way, I see it as a bonus because it shows that players that come to Clyde, if we're trying to bring players in, can get that move full time again, even coming back down again, can get that move. And let's not kid ourselves. If you want to get good players, they want to move on just like anybody else. It's like any other job. They want to improve themselves. Tam's been great for us. He's came back in. We we missed him when he left. There's no doubt about that. But it's up to our job, Danny and myself, to go and try and replace him with regards to bringing more players in. Tomorrow's game, the thing I'm looking forward to tomorrow is it'll be interesting to see the fitness levels of us and the fitness levels of East Fife, because I think that'll be a big factor in the game with regards to that. Because in our league, I don't think, even against the Falkirks and the Partick Thistles, there's much a difference with us technically, because I think we've got technically good players, but sometimes the full-time players have got that wee bit more time to work on things. They've got that more time to get themselves a wee bit fitter, a wee bit faster, and sometimes that's what loses you games through maybe a lack of concentration or no matching a runner. I think we've done as much as we possibly could fitness-wise with our players. I've looked at them. They've been given a Strava app to go into. They were given their GPS, so the results have been going into our fitness coach, wee Matty, and he's happy with what he's been getting back. Okay, for that point of view, the games against East Fife have been pretty close. The last couple of seasons, really enjoyed them. They've been good games, and I think we're in a good position. I think we're in a good place. We've got a good squad. We've not got any major injuries. We've got a couple of wee strains and that boys have got just for doing a bit of training, but we've not got anything that's going to keep anybody out long term. And looking at a squad, we've got 19, 20 players that we can pick from. What we did stress to them was it's not about for the next 18 games. It's about the team now. So we might be flipping the team from week to week, and I hope the fans might agree, might disagree with everywhere you go. Fans agree and disagree with what you pick. We know that, but we've said to them we might not pick the same team the following week. For example, will we have Goody for 22 games? Could Goody do 22 games in the trot? I mean, we've been lucky that he's not had a major injury with us. So the other boys have got to step up. That's why the B-boy LJ's came in. That's why Jack Josh is looking back up to his squad. That's why we're asking Matt Lamont to chip in with goals, Ali Love, because we feel that's the part of our team that's strong. And hopefully we can stop the goals at the other end. So we can. And it's going to be interesting for everybody when we start back to see how everybody copes with it with regards to their squads and injuries, and I think that will play a big part. I think the team that can stay free of injury can keep their players tip-top condition. I've got a right good chance of. We're still, believe it or not, we're still trying to get to the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. That's our aim. It's been our aim every year we've come in. Me and Danny have never come in and says, we're going to win it. But we've said, right, hopefully we can get up to that playoff, which gives you a chance. When you get there, you've always got a chance, and I don't think teams would like to play us in the playoffs, because in one-off games I think we've handled ourselves really well in the past.
Yeah, we can definitely beat anyone on our day, can't we?
Yeah, and in fairness, the games that we play the best, and I know and the fans will tell me this, the fans know better than us at times, that the games that we play the best are the games against Falkirks and teams that get the ball down and pass it. But obviously Thistle earlier on in the season, we did the same again. We seem to have a wee thing with Peterhead, especially Del Lyle, who's like a son to me. Every time he scores, he runs by with big white teeth. So I thought I'd get the same as him and get mine done as well, so I can run by. I thought I'd go and spend a couple of grand, get my teeth fixed, so
yeah, I think it's a key thing that's came up in the podcast a few times. You know, we can play against the Falkirks and your other big teams in the league, keeping the ball on the deck and passing it. But as you've said, the Peterheads and the Dumbartons, maybe we've struggled. Is that something that yourself and Danny, look to maybe sort at the back of midfield? Is there a specific area that you think needs work?
I think, and that's why I like working with Danny, because Danny gives me my say. It's not like, I'm the manager and what I say goes. If I don't agree with it, then I don't agree with it, and we'll chat about it. And that's why we work so well together in that respect. And at times I think we might play too much football. Sometimes I've said against Peterhead, I'll tell you this story before I go, because this is a cracker. Maybe that's how he doesn't listen to me. So we're at Peterhead, and I had this great idea that, and you'll remember the goal, I had this great idea that says, look, everybody always goes to this side at a by kick. That does man nothing. Why do we all go away across here? He says, why don't we put half your team yet, but put Goody away on the other side, himself. He says, because see Goody 1-on-1. I said, I don't think many people will live with him. I said, and then they might not leave Goody 1-on-1, so they might take 2 to mark Goody, and that might leave us an extra man here. I says, and if Goody wins the header, I says, we'll get the boys coming out, or wins it, the 1v1 duel, he's in and goal, or we'll beat him and we'll go and back him up. So that's a good idea. So we've worked on it in training, believe it or not, and it was brilliant in training. Right, get all the boys over there, and it like because we were saying to Mitch, look as if you're kicking into the crowd, Mitch, into the boys, but at the last minute, change and go Goody's side. We did it at Peterhead. I'll never forget it. I've never lived it down since. Did it at Peterhead, and Goody was playing against Willie Gibson. Willie Gibson's left back. Kicked it. Willie Gibson missed won the header against Goody. Our boys were coming back close to being in this side. Mark McNiff never got in time. The boy knocked it through. Derek Lyle ran right by Mark McNiff and put it in the bottom corner. Danny told me double. It says, "No, we fucking doing that one again." Tell me that. We're in at half time. All the boys are sitting there. I walked in. I says, "Guys, I'm sorry. I apologise. That was my fault. And they're like, "No, it wasn't Moore. We just didn't clue into the second ball. We should have won that second ball that came down." Says that it was a good ploy, but we've never worked it again. And I said, sometimes against Peterhead, I think we've got to put the football out the window and just get our sleeves rolled up and kick the ball into their half. Because don't get us wrong, they've more matched, isn't it? And I'm not being detrimental to Peterhead here, because I love the games against them, apart from Derek Lyle scoring against us every single game. And believe it or not, he's chucked Peterhead, he's left Peterhead, and I was going to say, you want to come to Clyde, but he's actually gave the football up altogether. Yeah. And as you're right, the Peterhead games and the Dumbarton games, me and Danny we're picking our head and saying, right, how's this not happening? Because, and then so we've looked at it because we've had a lot of time in the lockdown, say, well, we have to change maybe our style a little bit. But it comes down to the players we've got. It's hard to change that style when the players want to play it a different way. Because then we're going against our ethos a wee bit just for one game and saying, well, but that one game might be the ones we need the 3 points. So maybe we've got to change a wee bit, and we realise that as coaches that it's not working. So we need to look at a different maybe set up when we go and play Peterhead and the Barton, things like that, because against other teams we do play football and it's good football. But sometimes, as everybody knows, good football doesn't get you the results. Sometimes you'd love to scrap a wee one. To be honest, Peterhead I think sometimes we've battered Peterhead and they've just broke away and scored up the other end of the pitch for nothing. And that sometimes is, you can't really do anything about that. We've just no managed to do what we're meant to do at the other end, put the ball in the back of the net, and we've had that much pressure and that much of the ball.
Yeah, and well, hopefully we can start that tomorrow at 3:00, Allan. Really just can't thank you enough for your time tonight, Allan. It's been an absolute blast. Yeah. Best of luck to you, obviously yourself and the boys tomorrow. Hopefully come 4:45 tomorrow afternoon, we're all cracking open a wee celebratory drink, whatever your poison may be. Scoops, got a live stream tonight, I believe, 10 p.m.
Yeah, back at 10 p.m. tonight.
I apologise, I don't mind, but I apologise because I don't think I've ever been on one of your what is the 10 p.m. What is it?
Well,
I'll send you a link, Allan.
Is it? I send it.
Yeah, you got to join.
We can continue this chat in the stream.
Yeah,
exactly. It's lively. All the Clyde fans are there, Murray. It's a great laugh, and Scoops is fantastic as well. So if you want to just quickly give your channel a wee plug.
Yeah, so 10 p.m. tonight, 10 till 12, well, around 12, see how everyone's feeling. 10 till 12, we are back with Clyde FC for Season 4 with the Betfred Cup and then the first couple of games of the season. But yeah, Scoops Callaghan Gaming on twitch.tv. Search that up, and also on Twitter. You've already got my details on there, so search us up. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the support. Massive.
Yeah. And just quickly, there's a wee 10% discount on Clyde merch in the shop for season ticket holders. Just a reminder. So go and check that out if you've got yourself a season ticket and get yourself some nice gear.
Yeah, we nearly missed that one. Thanks, boys. Right, guys. Thank you again
for following us. Hopefully, we can finish off the season strongly and get us into a position around about the playoffs, hopefully. And then Scoops, if we win that, then you can come to Benidorm with me, mate, and Alpine.
I'll be up, mate. I'll be there, mate. Booked up and coming.
I tell you, it's going to be on YouTube for all time as well, and so we can't go back on it. Thank you very much, gents. Thank you, everyone, to the comments. We've not been able to get through them all. There's just a mass, and it's been an absolute fantastic show. Boise, thank you for your time as always. And until next time, Come on, the bully wee.
Cheers,
Morning,
guys.
Clyde.